Welcome to Python Plot Annotations and Highlights. In this lesson, you will learn how to add notes and highlights to your plots. We will use real-world time series data to make our graphs clear and informative. By the end, you will be able to add arrows, boxes, and colored spans to your charts. Let us get started. Running the cell now. Are you ready to make your chart stand out? First, we load the main libraries needed for data and plotting. Importing is how you bring in extra Python tools for special jobs. This line tells Python to ignore any warning messages so we are not distracted. Pandas lets us work with big tables of data easily. Matplotlib is a library for making charts and graphs. Running the cell now. Try running the cell. If you have an error, make sure your spelling matches exactly. Let us bring in a real-world airline passenger dataset. This comment tells us what the next lines are about. We tell Python the web address to download the data from. Now, we use pandas to load the whole CSV file into a table. This shows us just the first few rows of the data, so we can take a peek. Running the cell now. What do you notice about the data? Let us see how big our data is. The comment describes what we are doing. This will print out the number of rows and columns in our table. Running the cell now. It is good to know how much data you have before plotting. We want to treat the dates as dates, not just text. Comments help you remember why code is there. This changes the month column to special date objects for time series work. Now we set the date as the index, which helps for plotting with time on the x-axis. Running the cell now. Dates will now show up correctly when we plot. Let us make a simple line plot to see our data. First, we set up a canvas that is 10 by 5 inches wide. The plot function draws the line for us, using dates and passenger numbers. Adding a label lets us know what the line is for. A title tells us what story the chart is showing. We label the x-axis so we know it shows time. We label the y-axis with what each value means. A legend explains what the line represents. Show actually draws the chart for us to see. Running the cell now. Notice the trend, passenger numbers go up and down over time. Why add annotations? Annotations help highlight important points in your data. You can add arrows, text notes, or colored areas to tell a story with your chart. We use them to draw attention or explain special moments in the data. Running the cell now. Think about a time when a chart confused you. Would an arrow or note have helped? Here, we will point out an important spot using a text note with an arrow. We set up the figure and plot the line as before. Figure size stays the same. We plot the same line of passenger data. Title shows that this chart will include a note. X-axis tells us the months again. Y-axis still shows number of passengers. Legend repeats for clarity. The annotate function adds a message and an arrow to our graph. XY sets the place we are pointing at. Xytext puts the message a bit away from the arrow. Arrow props controls how the arrow looks. Show displays the result, now with annotation. Running the cell now. Try adjusting the text or arrow location to match your own highlight. Let us find and mark the highest month on our plot. First, we find the date when passenger count is highest. This gets the maximum number of passengers. We set up the figure as before. The main line plot remains the same. A red dot is drawn at the highest point in the data. The annotate call puts a label and arrow at the very top spot. This is where to show the label and where the arrow points. Xytext sends the label a little above the dot. H stands for horizontal alignment. It centers the label. We add color to make it stand out. Arrow props draws a red arrow from the label to the dot. A title makes it clear what is special here. Legend repeats as before. Running the cell now. Spotting highs and lows helps people understand big moments in your chart. Now, let us highlight an entire time period, not just one point. Setting up the figure and plot, just like before. The line plot shows the same data again. Axed span fills a section of the chart with color to mark a time range. Yellow with some transparency makes it easy to see the highlight without blocking the data. Title explains what is being highlighted. Show displays the new highlighted span. Running the cell now. Can you think of a real-life event you would want to highlight on your own chart? Let us mark all months where more than 400 passengers flew. We set a threshold value that is important to us. Same figure set up. The main passenger line is plotted. Axed line draws a horizontal reference at 400 passengers. We find all months where passengers were over that line and get their actual values. We draw green dots for every value that is above the line. A title describes the special points we are marking. Legend shows what the threshold means. Show makes the chart appear. Running the cell now. Threshold lines help to spot checks or milestones in data. Using shapes to explain events. You can use rectangles or vertical spans to show holidays, events, or actions in your plot. This helps viewers see related changes easily. Let us learn how. Running the cell now. You can tell stories with shapes as well as words. Rectangles can show blocks of special time, like summer or winter. We import patches, which let us draw shapes on plots. Create both a figure and an axis object to work with shapes. Plot the same line so we have context. Create a rectangle at a desired place. The numbers set its position and size. This starts the rectangle at a chosen date and at a Y value of 100. The width covers some months, and the height covers up to 500 passengers. Line width and color settings make the rectangle easy to see. Adding the patch puts the rectangle on the plot. Title tells why the rectangle is there. Show lets us view the new plot. Running the cell now. Try a rectangle for a school year, fiscal quarter, or event of your own. Here is how to use a loop to mark every summer month for the first year. We import NumPy in case we need extra math help. Figure setup remains the same. Main passenger line is again plotted for context. A for loop lets us look at each date one by one in the first 12 months. If the month is June, July, or August, we add a vertical line. The color pink and some transparency make each line easy to spot. The title announces what these lines mean. Show reveals the result with all summer months clearly marked. Running the cell now. Loops help you automate many annotations quickly. Let us pin a small icon to the chart for a fun highlight. We bring in offset image and annotation box so we can attach images. The comment shows that our image will be a small grid made in code. This line makes a blank 10 by 10 grid. The center 6 by 6 area is set to white to look like a little tile. Figure and axes are created for drawing as usual. We plot the normal data line. We make the image with a blue color map and normal size. Annotation box attaches the image to a chosen spot. We add this image artist to the axis. The plot gets a title so everyone knows what is new. Show brings it all together on your screen. Running the cell now. While advanced, icons or logos can make events pop on a chart. Often, you want to highlight several events at once, not just one. We choose 3 spots in the data to mark as special. These lines get the values at those spots. Plot setup is the same as before. Main data line is plotted as context. The for loop lets us go through each spot in our highlights. Each time, we add a label above the point, with a neat arrow for emphasis. Xytext nudges the label a bit higher than the data point. Har centers the label above the arrow. Arrow props draws an arrow from label to data. Title clarifies what the many labels mean. Show reveals all the multipoint annotations. Running the cell now. With loops, you can mark an entire series of events on any chart. Here, you pick a spot and label to put your own custom annotation. Input pauses and asks you for which row number you want to use, from 0 to 143. Next, input asks you to give a label for your chosen point. Plot set up as before. Draws the regular line. We show your label at the chosen spot, with a blue arrow pointing to the number. Label shows up above the dot for easy reading. Arrow helps connect the label to the data point you chose. Title describes that this is your own addition. Show brings the chart, with your custom label, to life. Running the cell now. Type in your own choices and see the results. Try with both small and large points. Recap and practice. You have learned how to add notes, annotations, to charts. How to use arrows, boxes, colored spans, and even images. How to highlight events in data. Practice by choosing your own highlight on a chart today. Running the cell now. Can you think of a new kind of highlight to try? Show a friend what you made. Let us practice by finding the biggest year-to-year increase and annotating it. We use difference with 12 months to see year-over-year changes. IDSmax finds the time of the biggest jump. Set up the figure as usual. Draw the basic passenger line. Add an annotation where the biggest yearly jump happened. Xytext moves the label above the point so it is easy to spot. Arrow uses orange to stand out for the challenge. A title announces that this is a special challenge point. Show reveals the annotated answer. Running the cell now. Try adding a text note to different spots. What other patterns can you mark? Do labels crowd together and become messy? Here is one solution. This package helps make sure labels do not overlap on your plot. Uncomment this line to install the Adjust Text package if Python gives you an error. This package auto-adjusts many label locations. Normal setup, figure and line plot. We make a list to collect all text labels. A loop creates 5 labels, spaced out every 10 months. We add each label a little above the data point and make it a unique color. Adjust_text moves labels to remove overlaps and draws neat arrows. Title describes that our plot should be readable. Show lets us admire the clean layout. Running the cell now. If your plot is too crowded, try tools like Adjust Text for smart cleanup. Sometimes, you want to show the chart without any notes or highlights. Set up the plot like normal. Plot the line for passengers only, with no extras. Give the plot a plain title so it is clear. Show will update the chart, now perfectly simple again. Running the cell now. Starting fresh lets you try new highlights or share a blank example. You finished. Next steps. Try building your own story or project with annotations. Share your creations or questions in the comments. Like this lesson? Subscribe and check out more videos on our channel. Running the cell now. What will you annotate next? Tell us below and subscribe for more lessons.